Lamar Jackson wants to be traded. Should he be a Viking? All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. Lamar Jackson just breaking the damn internet this morning, putting out on Twitter that he's requested a trade. He requested a trade March 2nd, actually.
Yeah, I feel it was probably a long time ago. Yeah, we're going to talk about that and if it's a possibility that he gets actually dealt to the Vikings. Before we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids, comment as well. We're a couple pubes away from 9,100 subscribers. We are going to be doing the giveaway for hashtag 9,000, so drop that in the comments. We already hit 9,000. Still time to drop the hashtag to get in that drawing for something fantastic.
Yeah, winner will get $100. NFLshop.com. Go get some Vikings gear for draft day, so you can be all dudded up. All dudded up for draft day.
New draft hats just came out, and
not great.
Every year they get uglier.
I liked last year's, but who gives a shit? Let's talk Lamar Jackson. Clearly, any big name like this, especially quarterback, Kirk Cousins appears not to be long for the Vikings. This seems to be his last year. So definitely some intrigue, and fans on Twitter especially have some opinions if they want Lamar Jackson, or if the Vikings should be interested, I should say.
Well, and let's just, before we get into that, let's just say, the moves the Vikings have been making kind of appear they're willing to change this offense. Getting the big blocking tight end, bringing in Madison, keeping Cook. Suddenly you kind of feel like this team's trying to kind of go toward a more running mentality, and now turning down Kirk Cousins' offer or taking a little bit of a discount. If you're a believer in Lamar Jackson coming here, you think it's a possibility. The recent moves the team has made could back up your theory there.
Yeah, conspiracy theories are coming alive by these moves. You can really look at this at any angle, and depending on what side you're on, it's going to work out for you. But just straight up, it's Lamar freaking Jackson. The dude's a winner. Can you believe he's still only 26? Still only 26. It seems like he's been in the league for 20 years.
I'm going to give him a thorough inspection to confirm that.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. But 26, and he is a damn winner. Want him here or not, the guy is 45-16 in regular season games, and he's fantastic.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, is great, but I think you can't have Lamar Jackson and Justin Jefferson on the same team. It doesn't make sense to commit money to both of those people. So it's one or the other, because Lamar Jackson is not going to be the guy who's going to get Justin Jefferson the ball to the point where he's putting up 1,800 yards. It's just not what he does. Lamar Jackson's a running quarterback. He'll make some throws when he has to, but he's not going to be a guy who's going to be able to feed Jefferson enough to make that money worth it. So I think if you truly are going to go after Lamar Jackson, that means the end of Justin Jefferson in Minnesota too.
Yeah, I agree that that's probably not what a receiver who loves putting up numbers wants to see, but Lamar Jackson has put up 36 touchdowns in a season, which led the league. So he definitely doesn't just throw it when he needs to. He throws that thing, he throws it well. But we've seen Baltimore receivers, the ones they've had, like the Batemans, they just go there and nobody really stands out a ton. So that's issue number one. If this is going to happen, you go to Justin Jefferson and say, do you want this to happen? And people might say that's stupid, but it's Justin Jefferson. You get his buy-in.
You have to. I think he's only thrown over 3,000 yards once in his career, Lamar Jackson. So I just don't know if it's a fit to have a super expensive wide receiver on this team with Lamar Jackson, whether Jefferson wants it or not. But yeah, he's going to definitely have major dips in his numbers.
The other side of this, obviously, is the compensation. If a team were just to flat out sign him, since he's on that tag, you got to give up 2 picks and then obviously come up with what he wants to make. But I believe if it's a trade, they can kind of work that out differently. Like, it doesn't have to be the 2 first rounders. They can get a little creative with that.
Yeah, and then their flip side of that is then Kirk Cousins, you can deal him to somebody for something, get something back in return, so you're not blowing all your draft capital. And I guess the third thing to think about is, I think a lot of people are putting this out on Twitter too, is would you rather have Lamar Jackson or, Will Levis? That's been going out there. And obviously, you'd think you'd rather have the proven commodity.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, I already said it. The dude's fantastic. He's a winner. Anytime you're out there, you can beat any single team. You can beat any single defense. So it's a no-brainer as far as when it comes to that. Will Levis, especially. You kidding me? Yes, give me Lamar Jackson. Give me Lamar Jackson with only one arm. It sounds fantastic. But the other side of it, like I just said, is I'm talking about defense. Doesn't matter who we got a quarterback if we can't stop anybody. So to put that much money in Lamar Jackson, again, putting a shit ton, a big chunk of our salary cap at the quarterback position is going to neglect some very important parts.
Yeah, if this defense was further along, it might make more sense. Have more pieces already in place, but we can go through the draft and still have holes on this defense. That's how depleted it is. So that's a huge point, and one that maybe makes this not so likely to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about whether we think it's going to happen, but don't forget, we've had a pretty damn good quarterback. Love or hate Kirk Cousins, he's a pretty good quarterback, and we still haven't really gotten close. So I don't think we're a quarterback away. I know Lamar Jackson brings a whole different element, but we're like you said, if this was a lot more complete defense or something, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and again, I mean, Kirk Cousins wasn't the issue last year. We won 13 games with the worst defense in the league, pretty much. So, yeah, and it's just what Lamar can bring to the table is huge. You look at the last play in the Giants game is what I keep going back to, and Cousins can't, he kind of has the pressure, checks it down to T.J. Hawkinson. Lamar Jackson's not going to do that. I mean, he's going to run around, he's going to make something happen. So that's the element, that's the X factor where maybe you elevate him above Kirk Cousins. And, Kirk Cousins, if he plays this year with the Vikings, he will end his Vikings career. I mean, damn near tops in every category, or in the top 3, I mean, for Vikings quarterbacks.
Yeah, I did see a stat. Lamar Jackson, playoff-wise, is not very good. I confirmed that, but he might have made that throw. I think he said he was like
he scampers. He gets away. Maybe something else happens there. That's what he's brings.
Never had to play behind Ed Ingram and Garrett Bradbury, so his scampering days might be over.
They might be. Yeah, that's the other issue. I mean, this whole line. But I mean, Cousins play behind him. Lamar will be fine.
He will be fine. But there's risks involved with Lamar. He's going to cost a ton of money. You see running quarterbacks start to maybe not last as long as like the Kirk Cousins in the league. So you got to put that in to factor as well. But overall, before we think, do you want this to happen? If it was a couple firsts and maybe something else and Kirk Cousins is gone, so do you want that to happen?
No, I don't want this to happen. I think where this team is right now, I just don't think it's a great fit at this time.
Yeah, I can probably agree with that. If it did happen, it'd be crazy as shit. We would explode. We would be very excited, even though we're saying right now we don't want to. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson. Yep. These guys don't come along very often. So if you get a Lamar Jackson, you're instantly happy. So whatever the compensation is. So yeah, I don't want it to happen, but I do want it to happen. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but again, and I don't really want it to happen, but if it does, I will quickly adapt and be very excited.
Yeah, I don't. I put this at like 2% chance of it actually happening, and a big part of that is there's other teams out there that have a lot better draft capital or whatever that are quarterback needy that could just say, hell yes, we want Lamar Jackson. We're a lot closer than our draft pick shows it is, and they got money to spend. And Lamar is going to want some money. That's the key thing. So yeah. I think we just take ourselves out of the equation unless we completely overpay for this dude with draft capital.
Yeah, I saw some odds on Twitter, and I think there was like 10 or 12 teams listening. Vikings weren't even on it. So,
hey, Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, they've done a lot of things that nobody saw with coming. So you never say never.
No, until he's dealt or moved or back with Baltimore, this rumor will not die.
And I don't think there's any way in hell he's going back to Baltimore. It looks like he wants to get the F out of there.
Well, wouldn't you?
Let us know. Comments. Do you want him? Do you think it's going to happen? Are you sick of hearing about it? Let us know in the comments. Put that hashtag 9,000 for a chance to win 100 bones. NFL shop.
Remember this. Dolphins have bromances in which two males may pair up for as long as 15 years and help each other hook up with females.